We're going to call to order our Conservation Board meeting for December 11th, 2025. Here.
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 Here. Here.
Next meeting date is going to be January 8th, 2026. We have anything on the agenda for then?
Reviews that have come in for the January's meeting. We have canceled December's planning board meeting, but you are reviewing tonight 2025-14P. So that one will also come before January, but since we're reviewing that tonight, we won't have to unless you want to revisit something next month. But right now, it is tentative with the schedules for the boards, just in case, once the new supervisor starts, I'm not sure exactly if anything is going to change where the days are concerned. So, from what I know, everything is possibly staying the same, so.
Right on track.
Yep.
Usually the meeting days stay the same. I can't remember a time where a new administration changed that.
Yeah.
They may change liaison.
Right. Now that could change as well. So that will all get approved at the organizational meeting, which is going to be held, I believe, on the 5th of January.
Yeah, they said that last night.
Okay.
What
yeah,
time?
So
7.
7?
Yeah.
I just want to get that in.
We have approval of our minutes from last meeting.
I move to approve.
Chairman Watson,
Aye.
Deputy Chairwoman Leader,
Aye.
Member Willoughby,
Aye.
Member Hope,
Aye.
Member House.
New business we get. Now the MAC area variance, that's,
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
I read that wrong.
Yeah.
My apologies.
actually I stopped at that job 2 days ago. Building a small barn there.
Oh, that's right. I saw them clearing it.
It's the old Roths used to live there. What do we got here? This is a single family home on Works Road.
Yes, so this just north of Saffron's house. So it was his parcel that he sold.
Now, is it kind of like over the hill from him? County,
Not fully.
and there's nothing there now?
When I looked at it today, like all the forms they looked different. Yeah, is that just because, have things changed, or is it because of who they've hired to draw them all up? Or?
It could be who they hired. I don't think I've ever had engineering as one of the agents, but
I don't think I've ever heard that name before either.
Actually, I like this on this page where they checked the environmentally sensitive features and then they added, like they said wetland, yes, and then they added no disturbance to wetland.
Yeah.
And woodland, no disturbance to woodlot, although they didn't do that for architectural or steep slope, but at least it's a start.
yes, I believe it's gonna be a Gerber home. Not that that fully matters, right? But I don't know what them done. Gerber home? It's just that Gerber's a builder. Oh, so they gave us some layouts.
Yeah, all the layouts of the house were in here in detail.
They built quite a few homes in here.
Yeah. So I just, I mean, that's kind of where I'm an interior designer by training, so, we had to make these plans, not this particular, but.
First I thought, wow, they have 2 kitchens. Before I realized they have a
In-laws quarters.
Yeah, that's why they have.
Some of those, but they said, this stuff is too much.
13 acres, well and septic.
Here's something else that we've never seen before from the Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm. And there was something with Adam Bello, let me find it, letterhead at the top.
Well, it's Monroe County Plan.
Yes, that is, we actually got a response back from Monroe County already. So we have had a new person, that we work with.
So this is Scott Strack's property right here.
So.
He mows all of that.
So it's kind of triangular. shape, too.
The Department
Yeah.
of Planning.
This is,
I don't remember ever seeing that form before.
Usually don't have.
that's this right here. That's the old railroad.
Of course, that's not a street.
Yeah, he has a barn there, house there.
See.
Um,
So is that the trail now? Is it a trail?
yeah, yeah. Cross is there.
That's part of our agreement with them, so I
There's
tried
also
to get it in
Pikes
as
Road.
soon as I can.
This is Works Road.
Okay.
So that we can.
And this is County Road.
No, it is.
Like I said, it was.
Decent kind of shaped lot.
That we, yeah. That's what I thought, this new.
Okay, well, this letter says that archaeological will not be impacted.
Oh, my goodness.
So this is all one story and then they have a bonus room up above. Want to build a house here? Yeah.
I'd love to know what a house like that costs to build.
Uh,
I'd love to know what it costs to build a house like that. From the ground up.
everything is expensive. Everything.
Or walk-in closet. I'm not clear on how you get into the laundry room.
And above.
Not that it matters, I'm just curious.
Where's the laundry room?
Here. But then you see, here's the primary bedroom and the walk-in.
Does this mean like pocket doors?
Would be, it's right by the
So-
stairwell.
Scott Strack owns the land behind them too.
Does he know the people who bought it?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He had some major surgeries.
Yeah. But the fourth and the foyer.
Well, these people right now, they live on Kavanaugh, right? Everybody and Jeremy Robinson, prefect 7 Kavanaugh,
Oh, that's all.
and they're moving to Works.
It will be.
What's the name?
Robinson, Emily and Jeremy.
He said he's going to-
Isn't that right around the corner?
Yeah.
Like this? Have you ever seen that before from New York Parks and Rec?
No.
Seen what?
This
Oh,
one
yeah,
from New
yeah.
York Parks and Rec. To me, when I just looked at it quickly, it was like, okay, they.
Well, isn't there always a question about a park being nearby?
This was on historic, preservation.
Oh my God.
Did they check that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they checked archaeological.
Yeah. They checked it and didn't say anything about it, but on that part.
And they have that
Yeah.
letter, like, here, see.
See what we got here. Actually, the land slopes down to the house from. Oh, this is Works over here. This is Scott Strack's over here. Yeah, coming off of the road, it drops down into us. They got 12 outlet distribution tank, that's big.
No, remember the guy, it's in effect a two-family house.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
How many bedrooms are there?
Well, they're two, but it's three
Three
bedrooms
counting,
altogether.
Yeah, sorry.
But, you know, they got two kitchens, you know, and it's gonna be.
2 or 3 bathrooms.
Yeah,
Where's the two, why do they have two kitchens?
This
Mother
is
in-laws.
to the in-law apartment.
Oh, okay.
See, here's like, so that you come in the foyer and you could go in this way to the main house. And then this way.
Does
to-
it
there's
say
a little
in-law?
Kitchen,
Oh,
dining.
no.
No, it just says, well, it says in-law bedroom, but none of this says in-law. But there's a kitchen over here and a kitchen here.
Yeah, so I mean, in effect, it's a two-family house.
Right. But a lot of these days, a lot of kids live with their parents.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of places encourage, the accessory dwellings. Other places don't.
Right.
Some say it gets out of hand, but
Be nice to have that.
You mean, in-law apartment?
in-law
Yeah.
apartment or accessory dwellings, like the tiny house in the
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
that sort of thing.
But this part only has 2 bedrooms,
Right.
really.
Right.
Yeah, the primary and the second. Yeah.
A lot of entry foyers.
Well, this isn't really their space. That's a pantry.
Yeah, but look at that.
Yeah, that's from the.
Like a mudroom, probably from the
from the
garage. And then that's, oh, interesting. That's where you go down in the basement?
Mm-hmm.
They got a big walk-in closet there.
Oh, that is big.
So it's really a primary suite down here. But anyway, you're thinking, Dave, that they've
It
got.
says sanitary sewers have to be constructed in accordance with the latest regulations of the state, county, and town of West Bloomfield.
Huh?
What's that mean?
I don't know what town they're in.
Yeah, their mailing is Honey Falls, but they live in Rush, which we've seen that before.
And is there water there?
It said not, said it's gonna have a private
Okay.
well.
Proposed well must be 100 feet away from the septic field.
We would hope.
How far up the road are they?
Yes, there. Yeah, he's so fast. Yeah, so there's lots a little narrower in the front and then, it gets wider in the back and then Scott's project.
You know, this is an old step tracks.
Is this like an existing hedgerow or are they?
Yeah. Like it said, they weren't gonna disturb any of that. Yes, God, they mow everything through there, like a golf course through there. I haven't heard anything from him or about him lately.
Oh, I talked to him. We'll get to that on the agenda.
Huh?
I talked to Scott. We'll get to that on the agenda later.
Oh, okay. See, now for silk fences, they want you to do the sock, 8 or 12-inch sock, so it's a heavy sock with material in it, and then they stake it down. So anything that comes against it, usually, silk fences, they usually put up like this, if you're
Right.
doing
Right.
big major construction, but you're just doing, lawn stuff and that.
Uh-huh.
They put those socks up now. Holds everything back and actually there's companies that put them in and then come and take them out too.
So the only comments that I have is the fact that they didn't address the steep slope. And that they said was there, the part about the archaeological was addressed in the letter from the state.
But contradictory.
The archaeological or geological?
Archaeological.
The applicant said no and the EAF mapper said yes.
Yes, and then the state is saying no, or at least nothing of significance. So, so yeah, three different opinions on that. And also that as Dave saw that it says that the septic system will be done in accordance with the rules of the town of West Bloomfield. So
Oh, no. Well, it'll meet their rule.
But other than that, I didn't have anything.
And like everyone else, they say, no problem, stormwater will not affect anyone else's drainage. If it's on a steep slope, I never understand how they train the water.
Well, we can raise that, if we want to raise that as a point, yeah.
But there's really, so that, how's it gonna affect anybody else? Nobody else is. Do you think they're close enough to be affected?
Well, let's see, we got. 639 is at the garage. I don't know what GP garage pad is at 639. Yeah, it does come down kind of fast there, right on top of it.
Comes down fast
At
facing the
least from the
house.
septic, I would say maybe a curtain drain around at least septic system. You know, we had the same thing over on Kai's Road. That one house went down real quick.
Mhm.
Even if there aren't obvious close neighbors that could be affected. It's water. We'll keep going, especially if the land is saturated already from heavy rain.
Well, it can get into the road for one thing.
Right, that was brought up in a Bailey's subdivision. The DOT may not approve that subdivision, and we talked about that runoff there. Yes. On a slope. And, they cannot allow, DOT cannot allow more water in the road. I'm more concerned about the farmers. Who's really low, help stop Livingston. But, well, I mean, so like, we can look at this and say, well, there's not really a neighbor that will be affected, but indirectly. There could be a wide ranging effect.
So that Niagara Mohawk Power Company, that's the peanut bed that runs down through there. And that's where you have your wetland there at the very end of Scott Strock's property.
Okay, so we've got the town of West Bloomfield, the steep slope with drainage concerns and may need a curtain drain. And contradictory about the archaeological and historical, the town of West Bloomfield, that would just be an additional note, because that's not a conservation.
Right.
And I don't want them to, you know, as long as we noticed it. Dave
That's
noticed it,
very,
we noticed it when we out.
Just film.
Well, you know,
familiarize
what
yourself.
they do is like what we do sometimes is just take the same
Yeah.
and just put it in a
Yeah.
different kids.
Yeah.
And you forget to change the kid's name. Yeah.
Oh, well, look, we all do that with the copy and paste, but we're all responsible when you do that. To
It goes
proofread and
right, it-
correct.
If I'm correct, it goes uphill, right? Or downhill, goes downhill to the house.
Yeah. From 650 to 639. 650 at the road.
So if it's running, it's
Yeah.
not gonna it's gonna run to the house.
Yeah.
But that can be a problem too.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Right,
you know,
now-
even though they could end up blaming
No.
us for.
If you pave that driveway
Seen it happen.
Mhm.
or, culvert in there someplace. A little swale to slow anything down.
Mhm.
Swales would be a good idea.
But then where do you dump it to? You gotta take it around the septic system too.
I have a picture from RIT where they utilize swales at the college.
Imagine
and
Scott Stock would be right on that.
That looks huge, doesn't it?
What's the square footage? I didn't look at that.
That was on this.
It's over 3,000 square. So the
Big.
living is, yeah, the
They
living.
show no drainage out of the property either.
And the garage is almost 1,000, but the in-laws 709. So.
You're saying
And then
there's,
there's a bonus. Upstairs
Yeah, that's-
bonus. 500.
Yeah, the house is huge. Yeah. House.
That's not Luther 73.
yeah, I noticed that.
Must have gotten stuck at work.
I'll make, yeah. Very funny. Yep.
So this would be next door, right?
An existing well, yes.
Where would theirs be?
The proposed well, I saw where proposed well.
Oh,
Okay, so I've written this, subject to approval. We have concerns about the steep slope and drainage, may need a curtain drain for septic system, use of swales, etc. Also, no drainage from house is shown. 2, contradictory information on archaeological historical. One form says yes, another form says no, letter from New York State says no. Anything else other than the West Bloomfield?
When they talked about, land use in nearby properties, they didn't check agricultural, which, of course, their ag
Yeah,
data says there is no active farming within 500 feet. When I looked at the map on maps.eagle, looked like there was. That's really
Well, I don't know, what do you think? I don't know if it's minor.
I can't think of any agriculture around there unless you go down, further down. They're building a lot of houses in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's on a well.
I was just gonna say, there've been really serious.
And,
Should we note that?
what?
The issue of water, whether or not, have they done the
If they're
testing?
smart, that's what they do is, first thing they do is sink a well and see what kind of water they got.
Any of that, yeah, but.
To find good water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were told, I don't remember which application, that the engineer. Sharada told us, this is when we were meeting on Zoom, that, John Root asked, how's the water there? And he said, oh, it's just fine. Then, when the planning board had their meeting on the same plan, neighbors showed up and said, these people have to know, there is no good water here.
Yeah.
But, so that was around work, so I don't know
well,
which one.
if people around there have good wells and good water, could it be possible then on this property it wouldn't be?
oh, yes.
Yeah, it's the hit or miss.
They're on a hill, so they gotta go deeper.
Oh, yeah, but
Maybe.
that's, yeah, even just 500
Yeah.
feet or something
Really?
can make it, yeah, I learned more about wells than I ever wanted to know when we built our house.
Subject.
Good one, Dave.
But
Because
it
you
gets
would think-
watered down a lot too.
Yeah.
Are you on a well?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and ours is one of the deepest in the development, yet we're up on the other
How deep is it then?
200
You don't wanna pull that pump.
now in our recoveries. Spectacular, but the water's good. And we have had reports of other neighbors having.
Yeah,
sulfur
yeah.
in their water.
That was the
Yeah.
deal over at,
so if they're in close proximity, it's going down into different aquifers?
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, like Sue said, it's hit or miss depending on
Yeah.
what you find, yeah.
Interesting.
And then you're flattening.
Well, we went through a lot. I won't take the time of the meeting, but
Is
if
your
any-
water good?
Well, it's adequate. I wouldn't call it good, but it's adequate, but yeah, well, the first, we made our offer on the property contingent on finding potable water. And we hired the driller that other people in the area had used, and they went down 370 feet and hit salt water. So we weren't going to buy the property because we didn't have to, although we still had to pay for the well drilling. We had to, pay for that. So we were going to cut our losses at that point, but then the realtor said, well, if the seller drills again and finds potable water, would you still buy the property? So we considered it and said yes. So he hired somebody who said he went down 63 feet. It turned out it was only 55 feet. Of course, they charge by the foot, so.
Oh, I know you remember the feet. Did you build the house? Was the house
Yeah,
there?
we built the
Oh.
house. So then anyway, but if, he found it and then it was, so we bought the property and built the house, but, we've had problems with sand and, some other issues. So, we've always filtered it. And
Right.
I recently, spent a lot of money on a whole system. So now I've got a big water tank in the basement. That's why I thought for sure we get public water down our street once I'd already invested. But actually it didn't happen. So, so now, now I've got a special, faucet for just drinking water.
Right.
Stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, and when we confronted the original well driller, we ended up negotiating with him over the price. But when this other person found water at 55 feet, and he said, oh, that's another whole property, and that doesn't mean anything because it was pretty far apart, where they were. So, but
How could there be salt water?
my scientist.
Salt mine,
Must be, that's,
Oh, you could be mining your land.
yeah.
but where do they, how far down is it? Like over
370.
feet? But, so, yeah, I mean.
I
you could
think-
have like a channel or like a canal thing coming up to your house from the salt mine. They're really across into Ohio, somebody said.
Mm.
The Niagara Escarpment
Are you on the well? No.
ends at I brought water down 300
He's got the last
20
one.
feet.
Yeah.
down the
From
road.
Pinnacle?
No, they were already bringing it down Pinnacle.
Oh.
And Lions, they're already bringing it
From
down
Lyons.
Lions, right? And
I
you,
mean, yeah, they brought it and it was already up Lyons a little bit to Louise's.
Okay.
And then they tapped in there and came up over the hill. And then I added on to that.
so do we want to say anything about the well issue, in our comments?
It's up to them.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right,
Hopefully they know what they're doing.
yeah. Or they might have an experience similar to yours. Oh, yeah.
They may be well builders themselves.
Yeah. Big thing though, making sure you have good water.
For sure, oh, yeah.
that was my number one thing. I said I have to have water.
Yeah.
Public water, or I'm not building.
Rush used to have its own water district. They went around there's certain places that they would go around and read the meters, I think like once a week or something. How much they used from the city water conduits,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people come to my house and drink my water and say it's the best water they've ever had.
And you're on a well, right?
No.
Oh,
No,
you got
no.
public water there?
yeah, it ends right there at Roden House.
Great.
He has a vault down at the road where the meter is, his meter is.
It's really good water.
Well, when a TV program did tests of public water and bottled water, blind taste tests, number 1 was Poland Springs. Number 2 was New York City tap water.
Yeah, but don't they get it from?
They do.
Scanary
Yeah.
County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that reservoir. I've driven by it. Yeah.
Right, that we sent our numbers out.
Okay, so here's, I'll state this in a motion. I move that we make the following comments. We have concerns about the steep slope and drainage, may need a curtain drain for a septic system, use of swales, etc. Also, no drainage from houses shown. 2, contradictory info on archaeological, historical. One form says yes, another form says no. Letter from New York State says no. 3, additional comment notes regarding septic refer to the rules of West Bloomfield rather than the town of Rush.
Yeah.
So there's,
I'll second that. Move it.
Okay, Chairman Watson,
I,
Deputy Chairwoman, Blumer,
aye,
Member Willoughby,
Aye.
Member Hope,
Aye.
and Cox.
Aye.
so we can skip B, that was an error.
skip what?
B, the MAC area.
Oh,
codes.
yeah,
We did
yeah.
that already, so. Thanks for catching that, Marjorie.
Okay, now we got
On to C. Yeah, we're
Mhm.
about to do that.
the Conservation Board official duties. Everybody has a copy of that?
Yes.
Out also, so I printed out what was on the web. And thank you for bringing that to my attention, Julia, because I didn't really realize that there was that much information on the actual Conservation Board website. Or part of the town of Rush. And then I also printed out, just for your use, the powers and duties, section, which is part of the town code.
Is that what this is? Chapter 8, where it just says
Yeah,
chapter?
and this is the one that was updated in 2021. I knew it was fairly
Right, so
recent
21.
because,
Yes.
yeah, people were finding contradictory information in the records as to what, not only what we did, but also even whether or not we were supposed to receive a stipend. Because older documents said that we didn't, but then newer documents said that we did. And there was also the question as to our official status. So the town board decided just to put in updated legislation to clarify. So thank you. This is very helpful. So I don't think we need to do anything with this, just make it aware but for the new administration coming in, to make it clear that this is what's on record now. About what we do. If they want to expand or contract or change, our duties, obviously they're, that'll be up to the town board.
Dave, when it refers to, well, maps in a few places, I guess, didn't we used to have wetland maps for the town? I think Marjorie has answered this for how we can go forward with the duties on this.
It's the EAF mapper.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what the engineers use when they do the EAFs. There is so I tried to do it on the laptop tonight, but it's coming up and saying that I gotta turn off pop-up blockers. But on my computer, in my office, I actually can go into the New York State EAF mapper website. There are layers, so you can put in an address, it'll bring up that particular parcel. Sometimes depends on if they're newly subdivided, then it has.
But there has to be a form for that piece of property.
Correct, yep.
Generated.
So, yes, so what happens is there's an actual New York State map and you can turn on and turn off layers on there. So it shows wetlands, it shows monuments that are possibly in that area. So SHPO must come from, from there too. And, so they all, I think, use those maps. But I can also get for no charge from Monroe County Planning. I can get maps like with overlays. I mean, we could do a wetland map. if that's something that the board feels, you know, would be helpful. And it would be a larger, you know, a larger sized
Yeah.
map, and they are free, so we could do that too. But thought what we could try first, once I get the pop-up blockers off of my laptop, we could pull it up even on this computer, and we could look at things, on there if you wanted to. And again, it would basically overlay anything that you wanted to look at.
But only you have access to that?
No.
I mean,
Yes, yes.
okay,
Yep, so anybody can look at it online. I just thought, you know, it was not, the layers weren't coming up on the laptop, but, I thought, you know, that might be something helpful for the board to look at projects.
Be interesting to
you know,
look at it,
like,
yeah.
that way you can see it on the screen and everything, but.
It goes
That's-
back to, my question on this started with the fact that we had environmental protection overlay districts.
Okay.
With an old comprehensive plan from Ron Brand, that Julia remembers. And it was for all of these features, the steep slopes, woodlands, water courses, wetlands. And I never saw those actually in use. So if we can use this, and it seems like the planning board would benefit too.
Yes, yep, and they usually go by just the EAF, they don't always look at, the, you know, up close, maps of different areas, but at the same time, the engineer, he, you know, makes sure that everything is on the maps that needs to be there, or on the site plans. So, you know, it's totally up to you, you know, as board, just to, if you want me to contact them, I can certainly contact Monroe County and see if we can get it, so just some larger maps, but we looked in the big files in there. I didn't find anything for the town of Rush where environmental was concerned. So there was a map in there that was south, like it had just the upper part of, or the upper part of the lowest part of Rush, and then, or no, I guess it was the opposite. It went into Henrietta. So it was just like a very little bit of the northern part of Rush on there, but I don't know where they would have gone.
And they would be out of date by now. We would,
They
know,
would,
Yeah.
we
yes.
would need updated
Yes.
maps anyway.
Yeah. So if you wanna just start first in the new year, we can do, you know, work on the EAF map, or I'll try to get that
so what are you gonna do? Print it out or project it?
right up on the TV.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was playing around with this one too, and it came up and said the same thing about the pop-up blockers, and I was like, I don't wanna touch the. I'm like, I'll play around with it, but I was able to do it on the computer in my office, so. But it's really neat though, it has like all the layers over on the left, and you can just click and it.
Can you send us the link to that site?
Sure.
You know, it's interesting, we're talking about this because on this deed, this is one of our duties, is to maintain an up-to-date inventory of all the, yes, geomorphic, physiographic, streams in their floodplains, wetlands.
Conduct a program of public information in the community which shall be designed to foster increased understanding of the nature of environmental problems and issues and support of their solutions. And I was like,
That's the solution.
right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, another time after we read something like that, that we hadn't been aware of, but that kind of clause, we sponsored a spring nature walk. And we started to do that once a month, but, and then, yeah, and then people stopped coming and we stopped doing it, but.
Well, at the 100-acre nature park there, the walks they'll be picking up in the spring. Wildflower walks, bird walks, all kinds of nature walks, which we could, well, they're gonna be in the town newsletter. This is interesting, thank you. And this is the town of Rush. This isn't generic, correct?
It's actually in the town code for the conservation plan in their duties.
Where can we find the EAF work?
What number or letter is that?
Well. And I guess it's on the EAF mapper. You know, there's a note saying, wetlands and water bodies are known to be incomplete. Refer to the EAF workbook, but I don't know where.
Well, it's probably on the same website, but I don't know where either. Definitely, we could definitely, you know, play around with it and see if we can figure out some of the, I mean, I'm sure it's a really good resource.
Yeah.
And from what I was looking at,
Really
it seems
fashion
like
maps are
it's
pretty-
really neat that you can, you know, and we could
Necessary
always print off
research.
maps. I could print them off or, you know, in color because your board has, they do have supply, yeah. Yeah, so this last year, just so you all know too, I took over doing the budget for, the boards and I actually was able to break it out by printing costs by, you know, so every board has its own supply listing, printing and all of that kind of thing, trainings. So there is money in your boards or budget for training, so for if there are any trainings that you wanna attend, you know, we can certainly reimburse you.
A lot of it's online now too.
A lot of them are online and a lot of them are free, so that's really good,
Is that the one email that you sent out, the land use?
So we,
State.
it would be okay if we went, even though they, you know, like a specific to planning and zoning, but of course we do see both of
You
those,
can
so.
go to- Yeah, you can go to any of the zoning or planning trainings, yeah, that's.
But a lot of well, maybe not a lot, but a few of them do come across the EMC. They send them
Yes.
out.
I was gonna say they
Which would
sponsor.
be more environmentally based. So if we get something, we'll just forward it on. And it's good to know. Yeah.
Okay, we all set with that?
Mm-hmm.
Old business, town email addresses for conservation board members. Everybody has one except for me.
You've got it.
Yeah.
You
I
got
haven't-
it.
Gotta
I haven't
find
got-
it.
I haven't gotten on mine yet.
The guy, the
Oh,
tech health guy really needs to talk me through it.
Yeah, I had trouble being locked out, but that hasn't happened recently, so fingers crossed, it's.
Gonna get Dave set up hopefully tonight, so, so.
I'll get there.
yeah.
You might need that tech guy.
I'm glad to see you were on now.
So I finally broke down and asked her.
It's like, "Can I see you, that way, sure.
Yeah, I was supposed to come Tuesday, but
Show up, so I was like, Dave, I'll see him.
yeah, I got his number.
I figured you'd come tonight.
We missed you at the November meeting.
I think it was all because of the email thing.
Oh, maybe, yeah, could be.
I know it was.
Oh, people have been good, especially, I know Julia has been sending.
To your
Yeah.
personal addresses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I appreciate that. Because I do see it faster, because I have that one up all the time.
You're
I
right.
have to, check the one.
Don't go into Outlook.
Look at your personal ones, just don't forward anything from them, you know.
Access to wetlands maps at conservation board meetings.
We just
That was
discussed that.
That kind of got
Yeah.
worked in.
Yeah. Recommended expiration dates for approvals.
Yes, this relates to my conversation with Scott, because, pardon me, you may remember my calling you.
Yeah.
Because we had talked about at the last meeting, about the importance of having expiration dates for various kinds of approvals, because, things change over the course of the years. And if something is, can be approved in 2025, that doesn't mean it's still appropriate for the environment in 2030. So, and we, it came up both during the meeting and afterwards when Marjorie spoke to Karen, that the planning board does have the right to say, you need to come back to us. but they're not required to do that. And with all due respect to the planning board currently, we don't know that there will always be a conscientious planning board.
Yeah.
That will ensure that, that things are done correctly. So I think, so my personal opinion, and a lot of us that were at the meeting last month, were saying that it should be written into law, not as discretionary, but as certain expiration dates for various things, after which the applicant is going to have to come back and submit, for reapproval. So when I spoke to Dave afterwards to fill him in, he suggested I see if I could talk to Scott. And I did talk to
Yeah.
Scott. Fortunately, he's doing better for health, getting back into circulation. I had a long conversation with him, but he was very generous with his time. And apparently, all of these things that we were talking about, and more are apparently either have been in front of the code committee, or Scott plans to bring them in front
Right.
of the code committee. Including, not only expirations for various and timeframes for various things, but also other procedural steps. And it brought me back, the conversation brought me back to way back when I was writing for the Sentinel. And I would cover a planning board meeting, and they would say, okay, well, this is approved, subject to this, and this. Sometimes there were like 15 things that the applicant had to do as conditions for the approval. And I was thinking, yeah, but how does the town know that they actually did all of those things? And Scott was saying the town doesn't know that they actually did all those things before it starts, and said that currently there's an issue because the planning board had required the applicant to put in a retention pond,
Yeah.
but the applicant didn't do that and built anyway without this required retention pond. So Scott says that he's proposing that there be another procedure to check on that and make sure that all of the conditions have been met before the final permits are issued. So the downside of the very meticulous information and study and so on that they've been doing is that he expects it's going to take a couple of years before all of this can be approved by the town board. And just for the sake of the argument, I said, well, what if we put in some time limits now and we could always refine them later? Well, he didn't like that idea, and I can understand what he was saying, but if he'd rather get it done right than get it done quickly. But anyway, that's where that was the additional information. So we can ask to push this forward, or you can just, you can bring up, concerns about speeding up the
In our
time
code
frame.
committee meetings, which we haven't had in a while, and I probably won't. But yeah, he had already discussed it at some of our meetings. In the minutes and that.
I wouldn't mind following up with him periodically and saying, feel free to remind me, but saying, where are we on this? So that, no, I don't think Scott would lose sight of it, but just to make sure that things are making some progress as
And
much as we can.
Scott's he's on the code committee. Is he also on one of the boards? the
No.
planning board? Oh,
The chair.
Yeah, other planning board,
okay,
Now he's chair of the code committee, right?
right,
okay.
he does an excellent job on it,
Yes.
He sure
He
does.
is
too much.
thorough, yep, it's good.
Nobody
It's
is as
good.
thorough and hardworking as
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
I've never even had the pleasure of meeting him.
So, yeah, so that's where we are.
So
Yeah,
that's kind of tabled, but we'll remind you to go back and revisit it and.
Next thing is a recommended expiration date.
That's it.
That's what we just talked about.
EMC.
So the first thing was from last month's meeting, and I had mentioned this, and I apologized because first of all, there was a typo in my email to all of you. It's not bird pollutants, it's bird population.
That was on the time.
But so it was Genesee Valley Audubon Society, and our North American bird populations really are in decline. Because of window strikes, because of cats, but also there's this big initiative to darken the skies, particularly during spring and fall migration. because it disorients birds. And I don't know if anyone had time to look at this, so it was brought to our attention. We could send it to our senator and assembly woman in support of this. And I won't read the whole letter, but it's the Dark Skies Protection Act that would regulate outdoor lighting to protect birds and wildlife, conserve energy, and reduce carbon emissions. So the kinds of things they're looking to make recommendations. And I think it's probably a lot more would be directed at commercial, because you know how things are lit up at nighttime. Lights that are pointed down, lower wattage lights, and also yellow lights.
See, with LED lighting now, you can get different spectrums of it.
Yeah,
Daylight, more brighter than daylight, all the way down to, what do they call, it's more of an orange light,
so,
3000 K to 6000 K.
right. Now, it doesn't go into those specifics at all, but it is to work on legislation in New York and make recommendations that we consider this. Or that the state considers it. So I think maybe, I don't know if anyone had time to look at it. So I was going to add our name to it, the Rush Conservation Board, and send it electronically to Pam Helming and I don't know what Bailey's, Andrea Bailey, I think,
Yeah, she's the assemblywoman.
Assemblywoman,
From the state or the county?
state. So do you want me to go ahead and do that, or do you want time to first read it over yourselves, or?
I'm good with your recommendation on it.
Okay, I just think it will really help our bird populations. And like I said, it's especially during migration times that it's really important to try to dim
I
lights. a
worked
bit.
at Geneseo at the college up there, so they had big dormitories and big glass walkways in between. And I kept finding dead birds because they didn't have anything. The birds would fly straight into that clear glass, seeing straight through it. Same thing in your house, if you put like a bird silhouette, they won't come near it.
Yes, but you know what? So this was the meeting. That's a good segue into the last meeting was the College of Sustainability. It was a tour of that building at RIT, which was very interesting. So it's state of the art. We went out on the roof. There's a rooftop garden. There's all kinds of solar panels on the roof. All of the water drains down into this ginormous cistern in the basement of the building. Which collects enough water for all the toilets to be flushed.
Really?
And there's swales. I took a picture of the swales out the front because in times of really heavy rain and they have too much, it goes out to this depression in the front of the building, and there's some native plantings out there to help absorb.
Like what I was mentioning from.
Yes, yes. And so this beautiful building, it's very advanced, the lighting goes off and on, it follows people around when they're going in there to automatically click off or on. The windows all have solar panels like built right in. So we got a tour of it. And I was the one that asked, well, what about bird strikes? Our last meeting was Genesee Valley Audubon and what a problem it is. And you could tell this woman was very passionate about it, but they never addressed it when they built this. No, and there's a birding club at RIT, and she's very passionate about it. And the birding club now goes and they monitor the buildings on campus to see where the dead birds are laying, because they're going to try to address that and at least start, because you can pick out certain windows that they regularly go into and try to address that problem.
So this is too, just happened here this past springtime. Pam's office, it goes out by the, her window's out by the, like where I think generator and all that stuff. And yeah, well, there were two cardinals, so a female and a male, that would come to her window and constantly do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it because they're seeing themselves? in the-
I think they do it because
Yeah.
reflection.
The reflection is not competitor.
I'm not sure what's going on in their brains, but yeah, I've heard that.
So it was like for a week straight.
Well, I think most animals can't recognize
Yeah.
that the reflection is themselves, so they think it's another one of them. I mean, I've seen dogs and cats do that too. I've had dogs that would look in the mirror and start growling and snarling. So,
I've seen birds do that on rear view mirrors. They'll sit
Yeah.
on their rear view mirror and peck, peck, peck.
See, it's a
peck.
reflectability. Low E glass is made to reflect the sunlight out.
Yeah.
She put a picture out, and it didn't deter.
no,
Like there was something that I can't remember what she
Yeah.
printed out, but I don't know if it was a squirrel or I can't remember, but anyway, it happened for like, maybe it was like 2 weeks, I don't know, but it was actually kind of distracting because you would hear in
Yeah.
Pam's office like all day. And so they finally left, but I don't know if that was around their migratory time frame, or if it was in the spring, it wouldn't have been, it would have been around their nesting.
Many of them, she informed us, a woman from Genesee Valley.
And this is a big
Upon,
flyway area
They
here.
fly, but they migrate at night.
Okay.
And they migrate at night because then they can avoid predators. So even our songbirds, any of the birds that migrate, so it's really gotta be lights out because it really disorients them, causes them to fly into things.
They don't.
I was just at the birdhouse on Monroe Avenue and they sell all kinds of products to put on your windows, decals that can go inside and outside. But we also learned they have to be very close together, like between 2 and 4 inches. You think, oh, I've got a big picture window, I'm gonna put a few decals up. It's gotta be really close. So, let me just pass around the picture of the swale because it's really kind of interesting, I thought. It's right up the front of the building. The next meeting, coming up next week is I'm not able to attend. Anyone else is more than welcome to attend. And it's with the Recycling Advisory Council. They do that one every year. It's a
Okay.
meeting in conjunction with them. And I told Pat last year, I shouldn't say that it's not relevant to us, but last year it was all about the big composting project that they were trying to get underway. And I mean, our trash recyclers aren't gonna start composting out here in Rush.
Oh, you know what? I started doing it through Lori's Natural Foods.
Oh, yeah, you did see
I
it.
I get a pail, and in that composting, it's different than our composting. Our composting is nothing, it's all natural.
Plant stuff, yeah.
Right, it's nothing that I've cooked or anything. This one is cooked food,
Like
processed food.
Yeah, animal things you can put in there.
Yeah,
Meat,
chicken
yeah.
bones, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't usually put a lot of meat. It's more just cooked vegetables and things that you can't put in your compost.
But I put everything else that.
You put your cooked stuff in there?
Yeah,
I
it's-
do.
It's not much, because dog eats pretty much everything, but banana peels and onion peels, so those are cooked.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say all that stuff I put.
we used to put coffee grounds in
Yeah.
compost.
Oh, yeah,
I
we'll do
I
that.
want to tell you about one that I'll be brief on this, but this was really interesting too, that she told us about at RIT. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this problem, but at colleges and universities in May, so much stuff is just thrown away. Appliances, clothing, furniture, bedding.
The hospitals are worse than any.
So RIT has started this program, Goodbye, Goodbye, and they do it in May. And there's a group of volunteers that just take everything. They get places on campus where they store it, and they actually rent storage bins. And then it's all warehoused over the summer, and then in the fall, they have a huge sale. So all the new students, and they have a huge international population that are showing up with nothing. And so they are now repurposing and reselling all of this stuff instead of putting it into the landfill.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I know,
Get a lot more of them, but that RIT is huge.
I know. No,
Getting bigger.
Yeah.
No, they just put up a theater.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's it for EMC.
Okay, Rush Code Committee, we haven't met in 4 months or more. Nothing much to report on that.
Maybe now that Scott's back in circulation,
Yeah.
we'll start meeting.
Is John Limbeck back to work?
He is up and mobile. He went, I believe today, for his, possibly to get rid of the boot. So, but he has been at work. I believe he's working tomorrow and Monday. And, he'll be starting to be back in the office.
Did you listen to the town board discussion about the code? They had a public hearing last night.
Yeah,
The work that they're doing.
Did they end up having a public hearing?
They had a public hearing and they closed it. There are just too many people saying the people didn't have a chance to understand what's in these codes. Maybe they could have made it their business to, but anyway, so you didn't hear last night's
Yeah.
meeting.
I think they're looking to do like a Q&A, right? About it. There's a lot of questions about it.
I mean, Dan Chase said, well, we've been having these meetings and anyone who wanted to could have. You know, but people, they need to know that it's even going on.
They usually have workshops for the code, discussions.
They had a lot.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
they've had quite a few just within the last few months, because they are trying to get the residential codes, up to date and everything, but I didn't see it. So I wasn't sure what all.
Public doesn't tend to know about the workshop.
Well, and one area of concern, I didn't watch the whole meeting on YouTube, but I watched some of it, was and maybe you could speak to this, businesses and homes. Would you say it was going to be scaled back? Were there going to be more restrictions, less restrictions?
For what you call home occupation, major and minor.
Is that how it was labeled, major and minor home occupations?
yeah, Scott writes all of that stuff up. As far as the businesses, I don't think there's been any feedback from them.
But what about changes in the code about that? Okay. Well, maybe there'll be a Q&A coming up.
Nobody's enforced anything, no changes.
Right.
Well, they can't enforce anything until the changes are passed in
Right.
law.
Okay, tree committee, anything?
I didn't speak to anyone. I'm not sure.
didn't meet this
They
week.
didn't meet. Okay.
Whatever happened to their tree beauty contest? I entered in that, never heard anything.
Oh, well, you deserve to know.
Well, maybe they haven't done anything with it yet.
No, there was winners because there was
Oh.
a fall
Oh,
festival.
so I didn't win. Oh, well.
I'm gonna find out. I'll get it.
Is there a vacancy on that? committee?
There will be. Who's leaving? Oh, I should know her name.
Laura?
No,
There are like 7 or 8 people on it.
no, there's only 5. No,
Trying to remember who I know that's on there. Who's the-
yeah, it's a woman. Oh, I should know her name. I'm embarrassed. Do we have the names of them anywhere?
Question, I think
I mean, she's come to the park, she's walked to the park, she has
And
big,
so-
beautiful dogs. Like,
Oh, did she have a Samoyed?
yeah,
Yeah, it's, Getz, Nancy.
Nancy Getz,
Yeah.
Nancy Getz,
Okay.
yeah, that's who it
Tell
is.
me about the dog and I know.
Yeah. Now I know that they're looking to fill that.
So we have no town board liaison? Marjorie, are you our town board liaison tonight?
Because though I didn't even get a chance to see the meeting last night.
You were working.
Well, no, I don't work on the days that I do the meetings, right? Sometimes I do, if I have stuff to do, but I was.
Any other business?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that.
Chairman Watson,
Aye.
Deputy Chairman Niederman.
Aye.
Hi.
Member Pope.
Hi.
Oh,
Mm.